Welcome back. Now let us continue from where we stopped. We were saying that we need to match column A with the words in column B. But obviously we need to read the descriptions before we find the suitable words in column B. Let us go to 2.1. 2.1 says, the green pigment in leaves required for photosynthesis. If you remember the lesson, you will remember what that pigment is called. Now let us move on to the next one. It says, the energy of the sun absorbed by the plant. What is that energy called? 2.3, the gas required for photosynthesis. Not the product gas, but the one we require for photosynthesis to happen. 2.4 is the substance that is absorbed by the roots and transported to the leaves. What is it that is absorbed by the roots and transported to the leaves? 2.5 is the gas released during photosynthesis. So now we are going to be looking at what is being released, the product gas. 2.6 is the part of the plant in which photosynthesis takes place. So where exactly in the plant does photosynthesis take place? We spoke about this in the lesson during photosynthesis. The food produced during photosynthesis, what is it called? The form in which the food is stored in the plant. If you watch the lesson, you will remember what it is called. So now let us just go back to the first one. I'm sure through the reading of these statements, you've already seen which word is suitable for which description. Right. So for 2.1, the green pigment in the leaves required for photosynthesis. We have A, glucose, B, starch, C, oxygen, D, CO2, which is carbon dioxide, E, water, F, chlorophyll, G, radiant energy, and lastly we have H, which is leaves. So the green pigment obviously is chlorophyll. Yes, so 2.1 is F. Nice. 2.2 says the energy of the sun absorbed by the plant. Let us go to column B and find the suitable word. It's definitely not glucose, starch, oxygen, carbon dioxide, water, chlorophyll, radiant energy. If you guessed that one, you are right. It is G, radiant energy. That is the energy of the sun, which is absorbed by the plant. Let us go to 2.3. The gas required for photosynthesis. So this is the gas that we need for photosynthesis to take place. So, is it glucose? No. Starch? No. Oxygen? No. Carbon dioxide? Very good. It is carbon dioxide. That is the gas that we need. Remember, the plant takes in the carbon dioxide that we take out. So carbon dioxide is the gas that is required for photosynthesis to happen. Let us move on to the next one. 2.4 says the substance that is absorbed by the roots and transported to the leaves. So now, what is being taken in by the roots and taken to the leaves? Definitely not glucose, definitely not starch, definitely not oxygen, not carbon dioxide, but it is indeed water. So 2.4 is E. If you guessed that one, very good. You've been listening to the lessons. Right. And 2.5 says the gas released during photosynthesis. So now we are going to column B to check which option is correct. A says glucose, B says starch, and C says oxygen. So oxygen is the correct answer for 2.5. This is the product of photosynthesis. Right, 2.6 is the part of the plant in which photosynthesis takes place. So where in a plant does photosynthesis take place? Does it take place in a glucose? Does it take place in a starch? No. Oxygen? No. Does it take place in carbon dioxide? No. Water? No. Chlorophyll? No. Radiant energy? No. but it does take place in the leaves of the plant. Yes. So 2.6 is H. Now let us look at 2.7. The food produced during photosynthesis. The food that the plant makes, we've been saying it over and over again, that is A, glucose. So 2.7 is A. And the last one says the form in which the food is stored in a plant. Now we said A is glucose. So glucose is stored in what form in a plant? It is stored as, very good, B, starch. That is our activity. So if you guessed these correctly, then very good. Good for you. Now we are going to move on to the next activity. So the next one is actually quite simple. Here you are going to have to summarize what you have learned about photosynthesis in the diagram alongside. How do you do that? You do that by filling in the requirements of photosynthesis in the blocks on the left-hand side and fill in what type of energy is needed and the name of the pigment that absorbs that energy. So it already tells you what to put where, because it tells you that it requires you to put in the requirements, right, in the left, and fill in what type of energy is needed. And also it tells you that you need to put in the name of the pigment that is needed. So what you have to do now is fill in the products of photosynthesis in the block on the right. So you are going to quickly do that. Just guess what energy is required during photosynthesis, and that energy, which pigment absorbs it. So that is the energy, which pigment absorbs it here. And then what two things are being added here? What and what undergo a chemical reaction for photosynthesis to take place. And then I want you to give me the products here. Can you see it's products and not product? That means you have more than one thing that is being written on this block. Right. I think that you are very fast and might have already worked out the answer. But before we do that, let us quickly go to an ad break.